Hi guys, welcome to Guru Beauty, and this is Jodie. Really nice to see you all again. Wanted to do my foundation routine for you today. So we've started by obviously cleansing your face. I use the Clarisonic every morning with a cleanser. I don't know if the actual cleanser used is all that important, but after that I have used toner on my skin just to get rid of any last oils, makeup residue or any cleanser residue, and then after that I apply my Arbonne serum, my daily moisturizer with SPF, and then also my current primer of choice, which is Arbonne's makeup primer, which I really like. I think that helps to keep oil at bay. So the foundation that I'm using today is the NARS Sheer Glow. I do have a pump on that. My shade is Santa Fe. It does say to shake that really well. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to be applying my foundation today with a beauty blender. And you really soak this before you use it. It is a lot of money for just a sponge, but the point is it's not just a sponge. Compared with other makeup sponges and even other, sponges this shape, whether it's by Manicare, Ulta, Sonia Kashuk, this is really soft. It's just an absolute pleasure to put makeup on. I have foundation paddle brushes, the e.l.f. complexion brush, the Sigma HD Sigmax brushes, and they're all great for certain times, foundations, finishes, but this is my everyday go-to foundation application tool. Whether I'm using a BB cream or most cream foundations, this is what I'll use these days, and I'm really loving it for finish. I think this also helps with building thin applications, and then you can build on that. If you have a spot that needs more coverage, you can use that, and it's not putting on too much product at once, so I think that probably helps to prevent it getting too cakey throughout the day. So I'm just going to squeeze on for now 2 blobs straight onto the sponge, and I'm just going to blob that over my face. This is my second tutorial attempt on my Guru Beauty channel since I've been making videos for YouTube. So yes, I'm enjoying the challenge of learning how to do something new. Hopefully these will just get better and better in quality and fun technique. So I'm blending my foundation in, and the best way to use this is just as it's almost like what you would do stippling with a brush, but you're doing it with a sponge, and you do it right into your hairline. And down your neck. Make sure you've got the colour blending, and I will sometimes use that all the way down. Not all of my foundation colours match my neck, especially in the winter time. I'm pretty albino in the lower neck region. Okay, so at that point, once I've sort of stippled that all around, I'll then take a good close look, and I'll think, oh, I need a bit more coverage. Say here, you can see, I've got some freckling coming through, some acne coming through. So I've just applied another little bit of Sheer Glow to my beauty blender, and I'm just going to build that in that area. Obviously, if you can get the coverage that you want from a foundation, you don't have to worry about matching a concealer or a concealer being so conspicuous. That's what I really like about being able to build a foundation that's not going to get cakey. Everything matches, and you're not in effect highlighting anything that you're trying to conceal. That's not what you want to do. Okay. So at that point, usually what I would do is put on my eye makeup. Today, I'm just showing you my foundation routine. So I'll skip the eye makeup for now. I will usually have my eye primer on already too. I'm going to go to my concealer. Today, I am using these handy dandy tools. Excuse the back of my head. I'm going to use Benefit's Eye Bright pencil, and I'm going to put that just a few little dabs of that on my inner corners and right where my eye is darkest. Okay. And then next I'm going to use my MAC Select Moisture Cover. I use this in NW20. This probably is more of a skin match than, you know, the 1 to 2 shades lighter that some people say you need under your eyes. Just do a few dabs of that. Now I change up my concealer every day. I am a big fan of a newly purchased Bobbi Brown Concealer Corrector and also the Eve Pearl Salmon Concealer. Big fan. But I'm just using this today. And then I use all kind of different brushes for blending in my concealer under my eyes. This is the one that I really like right now. And just as I sort of stippled my foundation on, it's a stippling action, a patting action. I really like that rather than, you know, a drag like that. Drags your makeup around and that can cause makeup to cake up, especially under your eyes. You need to be, you know, a bit delicate with what you do there. So I sort of just do a patting motion until that's blended in, which I think it is on that side. Okay, pat, pat, pat. Beautiful. I think I'm all blended in there. Sometimes the reason I do my eye makeup first is because, you know, it does help to sort of touch up your eye makeup sometimes to help that line. You know, you can pat your concealer up there if you need help just with that final eye shape after your eye makeup if you've blended it out too far. So I really like doing that after my eye makeup. I'll see how long this takes and then do a full tutorial for you for anyone who has half an hour to sit and watch. Yeah, in case that helps. So, and then finally, just to set that, I'm going to use my Bare Minerals Multitasking Well Rested powder. And anyone who watches Michelle 1218 or a lot of the popular makeup gurus have covered this or used this at, you know, one point or another. So I shake that into the lid, and I'm using today my Sigma SS224. Don't know the current name for that. It's an E something. And I'm just going to, instead of swirling, I don't swirl this stuff. I just get it on one side of the brush and I tap, tap, tap it, you know, on one side, and then I tap it out. And again, just to pop it on, I'm just going to tap, 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 just to set that bit. Right at the end, I just do a little bit of a, just to blend, you know, finally. But in this inner corner where I've got a few wrinkles and I need to get it right in there, I just pat, pat, pat. Okay, and then the same for the other side. This sort of action, tap, tap, tap. Okay. Okay. And then the final steps, obviously, you know, bronzing and highlighting and blush, if you include that in a foundation routine. I don't think I will. So I'll just show you what I do for bronzer and highlight. This is nothing that you haven't seen before. I learned everything I know from well, mostly from YouTube, mostly everything I know. So you've probably seen it before if you've been watching YouTube for a while. This is how I do it. Don't you just want to see one more person do it? So powder I'm going to set all of that with. I forgot the powder step when I said I only had bronzing and highlighting to go. But today I'm going to use the Physicians Formula. This is from my friend in New York, Amy. Thank you, Amy, for such a wonderful gift you sent me. It's the Happy Booster Glow and Mood Boosting Powder in Beige. And I'm loving this. It does come in the compact that has the mirror and the brush underneath. But what I'm using today is my e.l.f. powder brush. And what I do is I just sort of, I dip it in there and it puts, you know, that on there. And again, I stipple. Anyone who watches Wayne Goss Makeup Artist, I think is, or Goss Makeup, I think is the name of his channel, would have seen recently he spoke about how people are so careful when they put on their foundation, you know, whether they stipple, and then when it comes time to setting, they, you know, go like this again with the powder, and it can shift your makeup around. So I'm into this whole, you know, patting everything on and I think you do get a lot less, you know, makeup being moved around and caking up and that kind of thing. I really like the very slight coverage that this gives. The finish that this Happy Booster powder gives is, it's definitely not matte. It takes the shine off, but it's a bit of a glow. And you can see it's a combination of colours there, complexion enhancing, I guess, with that blush just to add a bit of warmth, but nothing too warm or obvious. And I really, really like the finish that it gives, and find that if I do ever have to touch up, depending on, you know, I guess what foundation I've used, it's once in the day, and I'm good until, you know, I take it off at 8 o'clock at night, and I'm quite oily. So I'm, you know, who knows? Is it the Clarisonic? Is it my current cleanser? I don't know, but I really like this powder, and it does actually make me happy. I think of Amy. When I open it up, she sent me this as a gift, and it smells lovely. They say it smells of violets. It smells beautiful. Gives a little bit more coverage and a nice finish. So that's what I use for powder to set. And I would always set with a powder before I use my powder bronzer and powder highlight. You can, if you're using something like Soleil Tan de Chanel, or, you know, any kind of cream bronzer stick, you know, a multiple, you want to do that before you set with powder. Or if you're using as a highlight high beam or a cream color base, anything like that, do that before you set with a powder. I'm setting with a powder today though, because I'm going to use a powder bronzer and a powder highlight. So for a powder bronzer, I am going to use, usually I use probably Benefit Hoola, or I do have MAC Blunt if I want something just a little bit more contoured. Today I'm going to use something I showed in a recent haul. This is the Bourjois bronzer in number 51. And it looks like that. Smells like chocolate. I love the actually my favourite before Hoola, I usually reach for the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. That's my favourite. I love that, and it smells beautiful. To apply, I'm using the Sigma tapered face brush, the F25, and MAC do, you know, make a very similar brush, but nothing that is a price that I would pay. There we go. And this is very subtle. I have both shades in the Bourjois, 51 and 52. This is 51 just because it's day, you know, this is a daytime look, something you would wear to work, you know, not too much makeup. So I'm just blending it in here, just under the cheekbone, starting at the hairline. It's very subtle. You can see number 51 on me. I'm an NC30 these days. I don't know. Depends which MAC consultant I'm getting colour swatched by. I have everything from NW25 to NC30 sort of range. I prefer the NCs because the NWs are a bit pink. Anyway, and then I just take a bit of bronzer under here. So that's a very subtle sort of bronzing routine. And then finally I'm going to do a bit of a highlighting situation. And sorry, out of frame. Here I am. Today I'm going to use quite a subtle highlight, I would say. It's the Lorac Perfectly Lit in Spotlight, and it looks like that on my finger. You can see it's not extremely shimmery, but I just use, this is the tapered highlighter, the F35 from Sigma. Just tap it in there like that, and I tap it out on my compact, and then just like that. Other side, just right on the cheekbone, and I bring it around to the top of the brow. This doesn't need too much blending out because it's not very shimmery. And then I'll also generally take that down my nose and then get a bit on my finger and pop it on Cupid's bow. And that's it for highlighting. I'm generally done. Okay, so that's my foundation routine. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again really soon. Bye.